Hello folks, Anahita Rao. Today I wanted to speak about the general trends for 2020, and then I'm also going to give you an overview of your sign. Remember, of course, it's a general forecast, and I would, as usual, suggest that you listen to your moon sign as well as your ascendant sign. And if you are new to Jyotish, then you can check out the chart calculator on my website, and it will tell you what your moon and ascendant sign are in the sidereal calculation. So, first thing I wanted to say is 2020 is going to be a lot better than 2019 in many ways. Not only because of the planetary placements, but also because of the aspects. And we're going to see a lot of growth and prosperity and new beginnings in every area of life. So it's something to really look forward to, and let's get started with that. Yeah. Okay, so in 2020, we're going to see a lot of activity, and you could even say a lot of drama around two zodiac signs, and that's going to be Sagittarius and Capricorn, because the slow-moving planets Jupiter and Saturn are in both of these signs throughout the year. Now, what is Sagittarius? Sagittarius essentially is path, it's your direction. Capricorn is action, karma. So the theme of the year is centered around those two areas of life, which is path, direction, and, as I said, action. It could be a new path that you decide to take, and you would have to take action to put it into, to implement anything new in your life. So that's very important. So the two fundamental energies this year are going to be surrounded around those, new directions, new paths, creating new karma, taking new action. This is where we can feel a lot of confidence in our lives, but also at times confusion and stress. So of course you have ripple effects in other areas of your life. First, let's talk about what the signs Sagittarius and Capricorn signify. Sagittarius, also called Dhanush in Sanskrit, is half man and half horse. This, of course, speaks about direction. It acts without distraction. It's direct. It's straight in its approach. And Saturn, going through this sign in the past couple of years, has placed a lot of restrictions and doubt in this area. But soon Saturn will be leaving, so that's quite a relief. And of course, Ketu was also there, which is that sort of very headlessness energy. From a mundane perspective, Sagittarius is a fire sign and rules the area of groups, societies. It's also a sign of temples. Because of the socio-cultural background, it was always in a temple, in a community. And so it rules community. This has resulted in the past couple of years as divides in communities, as you may have noticed across the world, because each thinks their point of view is correct. Saturn, Ketu going through it. And of course, politically speaking, a lot of things were stuck and blocked, and we experienced a lot of obstacles. Capricorn, on the other hand, is represented by a very mystical animal which has a close similarity to the crocodile. Crocodiles are protective about their own. They tend to be lazy animals, though. So unless it comes to their survival when they're very fierce and they take action, otherwise they will just tend to rest and not do anything. It's a very basic sign, Capricorn. It deals with our very, very basic needs on a fundamental level. It's also a very dry sign. Therefore, everything here is devoid of emotion and philosophy. When there's a difficult association with Saturn, then the needs may take a little bit longer to get them met, like the basic needs, food, clothing, medicine, all the basics. So now let's briefly look at the Nakshatras that are impacted during the course of the year. There's Mula, there's Purvashad, there's Uttarashad, there's Shravan, there's Dhanishta. Mula is what? The root. Traditionally, we take the goddess Nirti as the ruling deity, but in contemporary age, she's also known as Kali, which is the same significance because Kali is also sort of deals with destruction. When it's activated in a good way, it's positive destruction, as in getting rid of disease, negative thoughts, and things like that. Purvashada is basically signified by Saraswati, which is about cleansing, whereas Kali is about cutting off. And then comes Uttarashad, which is traditionally Vishwadev, but we take it to be the energy of Ganesha, which means that all paths lead to the same truth, essentially. So first, what do we have? We have Mula, which is cutting off ties, which is cleansing, which is destroying. And then comes a cleansing, which is in Purvashad. And then one can realize that all paths lead to the divine reality, which is the truth, the same truth. And this is essentially the energy of Sagittarius in a nutshell. Now, the nature of Saturn is to invoke cruelly and heartlessly, but in a justified way, the energy of the nakshatra where it's transiting. So in Purvashad, this may have led to righteous belief that my path is the purest, the cleanest, and therefore I will destroy you if you get in my way. Ketu here could have been very confused as to what is right and wrong, and therefore could have taken guidance from Saturn, for instance. I mean, you could have seen this play out in your life, or you could have also seen this on the political platform where the divide between the ideologies became wider and wider. Now, Jupiter currently is in Mula, and this has, of course, again ignited the energy of Kali. But being a benefic, Jupiter will try to eradicate and cut out the unnecessary areas of our life. Yeah. It doesn't mean that it will not activate the Kali energies in the way that they ought to be activated, which is on a very primal level destruction, but perhaps that's what we need to remove and to move on and to start anew. Jupiter enters Capricorn and becomes debilitated in late March, but it's not going to behave in a debilitated fashion at all because Saturn is there. Saturn with Capricorn and Jupiter being there will automatically change Jupiter's quality. And I would say it really makes it a very powerful Jupiter, especially when Mars will also join in March as well. Other important dates to watch for this year are eclipse times, as usual. The movement of Rahu and Ketu. Saturn will finally leave the nodal axis on January 24th, which is fantastic news for everybody. And we'll all feel some sort of relief. This, of course, depends on what Saturn signifies in your chart and what house it's moving through. Rahu will leave Gemini for Taurus on September the 23rd, which is another sign where it does exceptionally well and is comfortable here. So we start the year with an eclipse as we did last year. The first eclipse of the year is on January the 10th, 2020, in the sign of Gemini caused by Rahu. Though Rahu is still far enough from this eclipse. We have a series of eclipses in June and July. And there is a lunar eclipse on June the 5th in Scorpio in the Nakshatra of Jyeshta. June 21st, there's a solar eclipse in Gemini in the Nakshatra of Mrigshir. Then this is followed by another eclipse on July the 5th in Purvashada, the last eclipse that we will see in the Gemini and Sagittarius axis. Then on November the 30th of 2020, we have a lunar eclipse in Rohini and Taurus, a lovely eclipse actually, followed by the final solar eclipse of the year, which is close to the Gandant degree in Scorpio in the Nakshatra of Jyeshta. For the first part of 2020, the fire signs will experience the more dramatic changes, these being Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. And for the remaining year, the earth signs Virgo, Capricorn, as well as Taurus will experience the more dramatic changes. So if you have if you have your sun, if you have your moon, if you have your ascendant, you can directly be impacted by these changes that are going to come our way next year. And if you want to make most of these energies, then I would suggest shades of blue are very positive this year with Saturn in Capricorn. And of course, shades of yellow will also be beneficial because we're talking about Sagittarius being activated and Jupiter being there most of the year. June and July are probably the most energetic months of the year. After that, the rest of the year sort of mellows down and is quite good, in fact, including the eclipses once we get past July. So now, let's look at the signs. I'm going to talk about each of the rashis. I'm going to concentrate on Jupiter and Saturn transits here. So you can also listen to my Jupiter transit video, and I'm going to soon make one for Saturn's upcoming transit. So again, these are just some highlights. So not to be taken in depth, because of course your natal chart will overrule any kind of general transits that are taking place. Now, let's talk about Aries. For Aries, you may experience shifts in your career, power, position. All the action is taking place in your 9th and 10th house. There's also very favorable yoga that's happening for Aries because of Saturn's transit in Capricorn, called Asash Yoga, which will help boost all matters related to career, related to image, and bring in high status. So this would be an excellent time to take action in those areas of your life, and you will definitely get favorable results. You also have Jupiter transiting your 9th house, which is excellent for all kinds of travel, for education, moving abroad, perhaps for your career. It would be a great time to do that. But yeah, fantastic year for Aries. Taurus, all the action is happening in your 8th and 9th house, directly impacting your health, the path that you're going to take. So I would say pay attention to your health, as the 8th Lord in the 8th house can bring some trouble there, especially with Ketu close by. Your Yogarika planet, which is Saturn, is transiting your 9th house. This is a big blessing, and it's going to protect you to a great degree. It's a very beneficial position for Taurus, and it can take you to new heights, provided that you place some effort toward your goals. Yeah. Gemini, for you, the 7th and 8th houses are impacted. You probably had a pretty bad year in terms of relationships in 2019, so due to Rahu and the nodal axis being impacted, Saturn's presence there. This year is going to be much better. With Jupiter in your 7th, you will feel a bit lighter, more optimistic, and could meet people who will help you achieve your goals. So a year to look forward to, Gemini. Saturn in your 8th can mean some restrictions when it comes to matters of loans and finances, so be cautious in your spending, I would say. For Cancer, 6th and 7th houses are getting activated due to Jupiter and Saturn's movement. Jupiter will probably make you more sincere with your work, your job, which is positive. But you might change your job. You might contemplate switching gears, which is not a bad time to do that. The Sash Yoga, Saturn in your 7th, will make you more practical, and you will try to avoid uncertainties that lead to potential losses in the future. It's actually a good time to develop and even start new relationships for Cancer. So overall good. For Leo, your 5th and 6th houses are getting activated with this transit. And for Leos, this is a fantastic Saturn transit in your 6th house. It can lead to promotions, it can lead to growth, new health and healing routines can come your way. It's also a good time to pay attention to your children if you have any. If you don't, then be more creative. Focus on creative projects. You'll also benefit from some risk-taking, so great year ahead for Leos. Virgo, for you, this was going to activate your 4th and 5th house. Good time to focus on health, Focus on children perhaps, as they may need more attention and care. Libra, it activates your 3rd and 4th houses, so travel will be good this year. I would say if you have aging parents, keep an eye on them and their health. And Scorpio, fantastic year for you. Quite a relief, Sadhi ending. Your 2nd and 3rd houses are getting activated, so great time. Anything you will do very well. After a few tough years, this will be a very good year for you. So you're going to have opportunities to turn your life around completely, as both Jupiter and Saturn are in a favorable spot for you. Sagittarius, this may be another dramatic year, though more positive than the last one. It'll be full of change, and perhaps you will also see a lot of opportunities coming your way. And in fact, many things will start to make sense to you now. If you wanted to start a new relationship, you could do that now as well. Capricorn, an intense year ahead, but a very important one. You will be making probably big lifetime changes that will go far, far into the future. There's going to be a lot of activity, and with the 12th house being activated, pay attention to your health. Aquarius, for you, the 11th and 12th houses are being activated. Mostly a positive and productive year for Aquarius, with Jupiter so well placed. So make the most of it. Pisces, it's going to activate your 10th and 11th houses. Very positive year actually for Pisces as well. Work career changes are possible. You can gain a lot through changes that you make. So folks, overall this is a great year for everyone in some way or the other. And I'm also going to actually touch on the Pluto transit that's impacting this year in my eclipse forecast, which I will soon post, which, you know, the January eclipse coming up. So all the best to everyone, Happy New Year, and lots to look forward to. Cheers.